Hi, Manoj.
Hi, hi Mandeep. In one of your slides, you just showed advertisement is an investment or an expense. So, when a person launches a product, and when the product is in a growth phase, it is an investment. And suddenly happens, some sale is down, the things are not going well, the first axe falls on advertisement. The investment in the advertisement is reduced, and the person feels it's an expense now. Why that happens? Should the person invest regularly on advertisement, or there should be like in a growth phase, you invest a lot, and suddenly your product gets stagnated, and you it acts like an expense, and you can't reduce the advertisement cost to a law.
See, you're absolutely right. Most of the brands that I work on, when the sales don't show results, they go ahead and, the first budget to be slashed is advertising and marketing. We all of us are treated like a prostitute. Chalo inko bahar nikalo pehle. So I know what you mean. And trust me, these are the brands which I'm not saying that if the sales are not and the market conditions are not and the culture of the place says that go slow, don't pull off the plug on advertising, but get into smarter ways of advertising which will not be necessarily generating you, or you will not be investing as media being bought, but media being generated. That's where the second slide post that statement said that if your media can generate opportunity to chat and opportunity to forward, you won't have to worry about. All the ideas that you saw are less than 1 lakh ideas. So keep on doing subliminally, keep on advertising, keep on, sort of constantly be in touch with your consumer. If something goes wrong in a family, you don't stop talking to your wife, right? I'm your wife. I'm the advertising agency.
You mean I'm sorry to interrupt you. The media should change according to a situation. Like if you are like.
I'm saying if the budgets, and there are certain calls which CFOs take, they are not necessarily in the marketing team's hands. But if the times are tough, I would not say change the medium, but be more efficient. If the category demands only TV as a consumption point, but be effective on TV. Pick up slots which will yield more result rather than going and plunging all your money into IPL where it is already some 160 brands either on ground or on TV. Why would I want to do that? The amount of clutter which is there doesn't help you anywhere. So be smart in choosing what medium, and efficient medium will work.
And how much competition is print media facing with this thing, social networking sites and all the thing?
Social is a very small size, as in, if I may say, currently, but is the fastest growing. In 1000% growth year on year is the sort of growth which is happening on the digital space. So print has gone really berserk on cost. Therefore, not too many people are investing in print. Print is not seeing more than 3% growth, while as the digital space is seeing more than 1000% year on year. But it is still a very small, figure in net terms.
Excuse me, sir.
Hi, I'm Somat.
Hi, Soman.
Yeah, my question is how a startup can publicize its products, right? Either they should provide value for the money or they should provide quality at a premium. The advertising means both have got different market segments, so what should they go for?
You'll have to repeat the question again, it was long.
Means how a startup should publicize its product. Either they should go for value for money or quality at a premium.
Depends what the product is. If it is a product that the audience wants to see value in that, and there is already loads of them in the market, you will have to take the value route. But it all depends on what the product is.
Consider products such as chips or something like that, because that is having a lot of...
I think if you can showcase differentiating factor and disruptive, not only in your communication, but in the product as well. These days, health is really in. Organic food is really good. I'm not an advisor on your business line. I can suggest advertising. But it all depends. If you can create a differentiator in your product, because chips is not something new. It's not like an invention. पहले वो राउंड होते थे, अब वो टेढ़ा है तो मेरा है हो गया, और यू नो the dimensions are changing. But if you go and say that this is a healthy soya based chip or whatever it be, the chances of sale are far more higher.
Sir, oh,
Yeah, don't call me sir, I feel so लग रहा है
Excuse
20
me.
साल और गए.
uh,
Yes,
so,
whoever. Yeah. This is true. Uh, Coke tried to kill their own brand after buying out Thumbs Up, but we Indians are very fond of Thumbs Up, especially in the 4 states down south. Thumbs Up is still a leader in the cola business. Uh, AP where they lead, but you know, Coke thought that we are a far bigger brand globally. But as I said in one of the slides, you know, strategy will be eaten up by the culture, by the market, by the consumer. They tried to commit the same mistake, and they said, okay, we have bought everything out, now we will kill this brand and there'll be one brand. But they're getting their returns on Thumbs Up as well. So are they getting it on Limca. So it was, if they would have been successful in that, I think it would have been a very stupid decision. But we all repent, you know, grass is always greener on the other side. मेरा पिछले 6 साल से मन है कि मैं entrepreneur बनूं. But I'm standing on this side and saying, yaar, no. I have not been able to gather those guts. So hats off to all of you. We all repent, you know. I still think I could have got a better wife.
Excuse me, sir.
Sir, if say
I'm still an optimist. Yes, sir.
Sir, a startup, say in a sportswear, launched something new, slightly new, and the brands can just implement it. So how can the
Sorry, a
startup
brand can just implement it.
that idea, that particular idea, they can just take it up and implement it.
So very good. Talk to me on the side. I handle Reebok. I work with Puma. Tell me the idea. I'll go and sell it to
but
them.
how the startup will deal with it? Means
How a startup will deal with a software, with a shoe,
brand, with the brand.
with the brand. Depends, यार. सारे आंसर यहाँ दे दूँगा तो रोटी कहाँ से खाऊंगा? So I would want to answer that, but I don't know how. What do you mean by? Do you have a plan of distribution in place first of all? Is the brand known to people? As in, is the product known to people?
So
Are you
it
very
can be
clear?
anything. That's what I'm asking. If I'm
Don't
something
expect half-hearted answers if you give me half-hearted question. So I'm not clear on your question. So you are saying you are a startup and you've got some new thing in sportswear. And how should you advertise?
No, if suppose the big brand takes my idea and implements it in their own way, so it will be a big brand and big value for them. But I am a startup; I can't invest that much and
So
compete
get
with
them
it.
patented first of all. First thing you should do, if you have a good product and you think it works for you, please go ahead and get that patented. I have got certain patented IPs of the products that I work on. I have a event property called Indicalido, which is patented. I work with a brand called Angry Birds, which is patented. So there are laws which are weak in India as of now. That is why I'm saying the entrepreneur has to be a jugaad. You know, if he can manage and go ahead and do the process of ensuring his business interest is kept in order, advertising is usually considered as the last leg.
Sir, excuse me.
By IIPM, personal or industry? Personally, I think it's the biggest con. If you want a one-line answer, but I think he's done fantastically well from a branding point of view. From being nowhere 5 years ago or 6 years ago, he's built a beautiful brand. Everybody in the audience is talking about it. You know the brand. He's been successful in the brand building exercise. How much personally I relate to the entire, I think I would never get my kids there.
Where does the fine line of ethics come in branding and marketing?
Very good question. There is, all of us have got a code of conduct, an ASCII board, where we've been very active. Advertising fraternity has been very active in ensuring most of the bigger brands have put their foot down. You don't see larger brands getting into schools to influence and advertise with kids. The usage of animals have been really negligible now in advertising, very less. Gone are the days when the dog would follow wherever you would go. But there are constant efforts in ensuring that a line is drawn between ethical advertising and just advertising. So there are efforts which are on.
Sir, I have a question.
Every time you say, sir, I lose 1 year of my life.
Sir, suppose I'm going for a startup. Now I want to work out the finance of that startup, roughly on a paper, to present it to maybe some venture capitalist. So you mentioned a number in the initial slides, like 50% of the revenue goes. So, I mean, you as an advertising person, know about the exact numbers. But as a layman, how do I figure out, what other industries are spending on in that particular sector?
See, these are all very right questions, but these are to the wrong person. Mr. Gandhi should be answering this. He is the venture capitalist. He would know from experience how much money should go in advertising. I didn't have a slide on that 50%. It was pun intended that, I'm a con artist, right? I will con you of your money. 50% of that will deliver. 50% will not. I'll tell you why I mean that. It's on a serious note. Any advertising will only generate opportunity to see. If you advertise on television, as a marketeer, I have put the Lux soap up where you should be watching your TV, right? I have done my job. But you decide to go and talk to your kids and ensure, you're talking to your wife while my ad is playing. I can't really be responsible beyond a point. So that 50% technically gets wasted, If you're not seeing what I am presenting, for me 50% of money is wasted. So what my job is to ensure that the other 50 is safe. Therefore, I will plan right to ensure that I have the right TG, the right people, the ad, the content, the context, all the 10 commandments that you saw are rightfully placed in terms of generating an opportunity to see.
Sir, actually, my question is more on data. Just sorry to cut you. My question is more on data. I mean, suppose if I want to track down a company, let's say in FMCG sector, let's say HUL. So how do I know how much they are spending on marketing?
It's all publicly available. Do some research on the net. You will have, they publicize, if in their balance sheet also, there is very clearly written, they usually do, I think 2% of their entire budget goes into advertising and marketing.
But that is only at the end of the quarter, right?
No, if levers is what you are asking, levers plans 3 years in advance. They don't plan कि एक quarter खत्म हुआ तो अब करना है. Levers and large organization, Procter and Gamble, all these guys plan 3 years before, the product launch is happening on the market. So it's not a quarter by quarter basis.
Yeah, one last question.
Is there a direct correlation between an ad being a hit and that revenue that company generates from that ad?
There are few examples. Usually, if it's say a 10% off discount thing which was there as an activity, had 93% redemption of those coupons. So there can be ways of finding that how much money has been rightfully utilized. So there are loads of ways of.
Do we need lots of money to come out with a good ad?
None of the ideas.
One example of that $18 spent.
None of the ideas are beyond 1 lakh. I'm giving you a ballpark figure. The reason I kept all the ideas, and trust me, we do a lot of work on roti bhi khani hoti hai na, to paise wala bhi kaam karte hain. But these are all ideas for entrepreneurs to go and establish their brand. Again, I say, especially when the budgets are limited, you need to generate opportunity to see, which you usually buy out as much as the budget allows, as much as your geographical reach is. But if you can generate the communication which becomes opportunity to chat, which becomes opportunity to forward, that's the best way of advertising. Thanks very much.
Friends, we can talk to Mandeep on the sideline also. He is available. A good brand is a story that is never completely told, as said by Scott Bedbury. But I think 10 Commandments of Mandeep has covered most of them. And the final verdict was when he compared customer with wife. Nobody can argue that. I can just say, treat her like your girlfriend, pamper her. She will shower you with all her love in the form of top line and bottom line. Thank you, Mandeep, for sharing your experiences with us. Our team also has tried to be a little bit creative, like you mentioned all these things. Whatever memento you are getting, that is online prepared. When you start speaking, it goes into production, and whenever a speaker finish up his speech, the final product comes. So I request Ramakrishnan, our charter member, to present a small memento to Mandeep. Thank you, Mandeep.